Hi everyone, Sandra Vail here at Homesteading Ways. And today we're making a German cucumber salad. It's the middle of June, mid to late June, and our cucumbers are finally coming in the gardens, and you'll just be finding them everywhere, even if you don't have a garden yourself. So this is a great time of year to start making this salad. It's really, really good. And even though my family is Irish, we ate a lot of German food because I was raised on the south side of Milwaukee here in Wisconsin, which has always been known to have a high German population. And I have to tell you, German food is still one of my all-time favorites. Okay, to get started, we're going to start with 2 good-sized cucumbers here. And we're not going to peel them. You can peel them if you want. But the way that I grew up having the salad was the cucumbers were sliced very thin, and so the skin was left on. You don't really taste it as much. It does give some nice color, but if you do have to slice your cucumbers by hand, sometimes you can't get them real thin, and I certainly can't. So if I have to cut by hand, then I will peel them because I don't want that skin on there because it can be kind of tough. But anyhow, I will start with the mandolin here, and I have it on the thin setting, and I'm just gonna go over this, and it cuts them really, really thin. And I'll show you that. This is super, oops, I hope you guys can see this. It's super thin, not paper thin, but really pretty thin. So I'm going to go ahead and get both these cucumbers done, and we'll go on to the next step. Okay, now that we have them all sliced up and in our bowl, we are going to move on to the next ingredient. But before we do, I just want to make a real quick mention on this mandolin. If you've never used one before, make sure to be very careful when using it. This blade is extremely sharp. So use this little doohickey thing when you need to. If you're slicing up something that's small and your fingers can get anywhere near the blade, make sure to use this contraption because that will save you some really bad cuts. So the other ingredient is an onion. Now you can use any onion you like, white, red, yellow. This though is a sweet onion. This is Walla Walla onion, and I kind of like the way the sweet onion tastes in this salad. Also, if you don't like onions, you don't have to put it in there. It is traditional to have onions in there. My mom didn't like onions, so she didn't use them. But as soon as I started making it myself, I put onions in there. And like I said, if I can get a sweet onion, then I will. So I'm going to slice up about half a cup. And I'm going to slice it just the same way I did the cucumbers. Okay, so once you have your onions and your cucumbers sliced up, I just kind of mixed them together a little bit. Oh, and I did separate the rings for the onions, just so that you get the flavor and the onions all throughout the salad. So now we're going to make the dressing for it. You are going to start with a half a cup of sour cream. So you only need one of these little containers and half of it. I'm not measuring it out exactly, but I'm sure you can figure out a half a cup. Thereabouts. So we're going to do that with 1 tablespoon of milk. Actually, 2 tablespoons. There you go, 2 tablespoons of milk. I'm glad I remembered that. 1 tablespoon of white vinegar. You can use a different vinegar, but it will change the taste of the salad a little bit. Better put the lid on that. Then we are going to add to that about 3/4 teaspoon of white sugar. And then here in this little bowl, I have chopped up 1 tablespoon of fresh parsley with 2 tablespoons of fresh dill. Now, if you don't have fresh, that's fine. Go ahead and use dried. So you would use about a half a teaspoon of dried parsley and 1 full teaspoon of dill. So we're going to go ahead and just sprinkle that on in there. You want to get everything well incorporated. Now it may seem, you know, a little thick, but that's fine because the moisture from the cucumbers is really going to thin it out. Okay, I think that's good enough. Well, here, there's a little bit of dill. Put that in there. And now, we're going to just add it to our cucumber and onions. And you're really going to have to toss this salad quite a bit to make sure everything is coated. But what you're going to end up doing is you're going to let this sit in your refrigerator for bare minimum of 4 hours. 8 is great. And if you do it a little longer than that, that's fine as well. And while it's sitting, those flavors will come together and it'll be just beautiful. And like I said, the moisture from the cucumbers and the onions are going to thin this out significantly. If you don't like it that thin, you can always add some more sour cream. Now you're going to toss this around. I should get a bigger, I think I'm going to get a spatula to do this actually. But when I'm done tossing it and getting it coated really well, I'll show you. Okay, I have it mixed up, but I'm going to add a little bit of salt and then a little bit of pepper. I'm going to mix it a little bit further, and then I'm going to put a lid on here or some saran wrap and stick it in the fridge for 4 to 8 hours. Okay everyone, here is the moment of truth with our salad. It's been about, I'd say 7.5 hours, and this is what it's looking like. So you can see here, it's very drippy. That's okay, that's what it's supposed to be like. Now I'm almost certain that this is going to need a little bit of salt. It usually does. So I'm going to take a little test here. Yep, needs salt. But otherwise the flavor is great. So anyhow, if you have had this salad in the past, let me know. Did you make it a little different? Do you add stuff to it? I mean, I know one lady adds tomatoes, but let me know how your recipe is different and if you have any great childhood memories with this salad the way I did. Anyhow, I hope you make it if you haven't had it before. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a good summer with it and that you have a plentiful cucumber harvest. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. That would be great. And subscribe if you're not a subscriber already. That would be wonderful too. It was nice talking to you, and you take care.